The story opens in the middle of the 7th century, inside a rustic village home where a group of young children hides in the basement. Their faces are pale with fear. Something unknown is trying to break into their house. One child calls out for his mother, while another curls up against the wall, sobbing quietly. Suddenly, the door bursts open, and all the children scream in terror at once. Centuries pass. Now, the story shifts to the present day, where a young boy named Charlie lies awake in his room. It's nighttime, and for some reason, sleep escapes him. He walks over to the window and breathes in the cold night air. As he turns back toward his bed, his eyes catch something strange, a shadow behind the curtain. It looks like someone is standing there, staring at him. Overcome with fear, Charlie rushes to his mother Kristen's room and tells her that someone is outside the window. Half asleep, Kristen tries to calm him down and gently assures him it must have been a dream. There's no one out there at this hour. Just then, Charlie's father, Mike, returns home. He notices Charlie is shaken and lovingly picks him up, carrying him back to bed. But Charlie insists again. He saw someone outside the window. Smiling, Mike walks over, pulls back the curtain, and looks out. There's nothing there. He turns to Charlie and says warmly, "See? No one's out there. Maybe it was just your imagination." The next day is Halloween. Children dress up in colorful costumes and go door to door asking for candy. Charlie, meanwhile, has drawn something strange on his iPad. When Kristen walks over and sees it, her face shows subtle surprise. She asks him what it is, and Charlie replies, "This is what I saw last night." Kristen pauses, slightly concerned, but doesn't dwell on it. Later that evening, Charlie heads out with his mom and friends to enjoy the Halloween festivities. While they're out, he looks up and sees a large vulture circling overhead. He points it out to his mom, but strangely, she doesn't see it at all. That night, Mike finishes work and joins them. Charlie suggests they go to the Halloween parade. Kristen hesitates, saying it's too late and they shouldn't go. But Mike doesn't listen. He takes Charlie and heads off to the parade. The streets are packed with people celebrating. Everyone's having fun. Suddenly, that same eerie vulture flies above them again. Charlie spots it and tries to show his dad, but Mike brushes it off. Then, Charlie notices a dark shadow ahead, like a mysterious spirit standing still. The shadow begins to move slowly toward him, and in the blink of an eye, Charlie vanishes. Mike is stunned. He was holding Charlie's hand just moments ago, and now he's gone. Panicked, he searches the crowd and alerts the police, but there's no trace of Charlie. One officer suggests maybe the boy went home. Terrified, Mike rushes back. When Kristen hears the news, she's devastated. She lashes out at Mike, blaming him for not listening to her warning about the parade. Now, their son is missing. The couple files a report with the police, hoping for answers. But even after all this time, there's still no sign of Charlie. The officers assure Mike they'll do everything they can to find him. With heavy hearts, Mike and Kristen return home. Kristen breaks down in tears. Her love for her son is deep, and now he's gone. Mike is stunned, unable to comprehend how his son could vanish so suddenly. Just moments ago, he was holding Charlie's hand, and then, in the blink of an eye, he was gone. The entire situation becomes a haunting mystery for Mike. Lost in memories, Mike walks into Charlie's room and eventually falls asleep there. But sleep doesn't come easy. He finds himself standing by the window, staring out into the night. When he turns back toward the room, he sees Charlie standing right in front of him. The boy looks at him with an eerie expression, but Mike feels an overwhelming sense of relief and embraces him tightly. He asks where Charlie has been. Charlie doesn't say much, only that what he saw that night is still out there, just beyond the window. At Charlie's insistence, Mike looks outside, but sees nothing. Charlie urges him to look again. This time, he spots a dark figure standing in the middle of the street. Suddenly, the figure appears right in front of him. Mike jolts awake, terrified. It was just a dream, but felt all too real. In reality, Charlie has been missing for a year, and even now, Mike can't shake the terrifying images from his mind. He's tried everything to find his son. Now, only 3 days remain until Halloween, the very night Charlie disappeared. Since that day, Kristen has blamed Mike and left him. But Mike refuses to give up. Every morning before heading work, he posts missing person flyers across the city, determined to keep searching. One day, Mike sees a boy on a bus who looks exactly like Charlie. His heart races. He chases after the bus, stops it, and frantically searches inside. But Charlie isn't there. As he steps off the bus in disappointment, his eyes catch something chilling, a wall with the word ghost scrawled across it in large letters. He freezes. That's the same word Charlie used to say over and over. Shaken, Mike decides to investigate the building where the word is written. In the basement, he finds a group of homeless people. No food, no shelter, just shadows and silence. He starts asking around, desperate to understand what ghost means. An old blind man approaches and says he can answer Mike's questions. But Mike has only one thing on his mind, the meaning of that word on the wall. The man leads him to a section where the word ghost is written multiple times. He doesn't offer any clear answers. With no real answers, Mike is forced to leave the building. Still, something inside him refuses to let go. He's convinced that this word, ghost, is somehow connected to Charlie's disappearance. Mike turns to his only remaining friend, Anna, the one person who never abandoned him when everyone else did. After speaking with her, he heads to the police station and meets Officer Jordan, who's been handling Charlie's case. When Mike asks for updates, Jordan offers little, saying only that the investigation is ongoing. Frustrated and angry, Mike accuses the police of not doing their job. He reveals something chilling. Every year on Halloween, 3 children go missing. With Anna's help, he's gathered records going back 20 to 30 years. Yet the police still refuse to take him seriously. That's when Mike makes a decision. He won't rely on anyone else anymore. He'll find his son on his own, no matter what it takes. Mike returns to Kristen, pleading with her to hear him out. At first, she shows no interest, still holding on to the belief that Charlie's disappearance was a result of Mike's negligence. But Mike doesn't give up. With quiet persistence, he convinces her to listen. He lays out all the reports and evidence he's gathered on his own. He even tells her about the word ghost scrawled across large walls, the same word Charlie used to repeat before he vanished. Mike confesses that sometimes he sees visions of their son in his dreams. Still, Kristen remains unconvinced. She walks away, thinking Mike might just be using this as an excuse to rekindle their broken relationship. Alone and burdened with doubt, Mike continues his search, desperate to uncover the truth. That night, as Kristen sleeps in her room, she hears strange noises coming from downstairs. Despite her fear, she decides to investigate. As she reaches the bottom of the stairs, she sees a scooter moving on its own, before suddenly crashing to the floor. The sight shakes her to the core. The next day, Kristen visits Mike. Her voice is soft as she admits. Maybe what he said wasn't so far-fetched. Perhaps, just perhaps, their son was trying to send them a message last night. Now united by a shared sense of urgency, Mike and Kristen decide to investigate together. Their first stop is the home of a girl named Alex, the same girl who disappeared alongside Charlie on Halloween night last year. At Alex's house, they find her father drowning in grief. His life has fallen apart. He's separated from his wife and withdrawn completely from the world. After speaking with him, Mike calls Officer Jordan, hoping he can help speed up the search for Charlie. Mike shares a critical detail. The day Charlie vanished, 2 other children also went missing. Jordan acknowledges the importance of this information and promises to dig deeper into the case. Later, Mike drops Kristen off at her home. On the way, she speaks to him with a warmth he hasn't felt in a long time. The change touches Mike deeply. Once home, Kristen even invites him to stay for dinner, an invitation that fills Mike with quiet joy. Meanwhile, Officer Jordan visits a restaurant to follow up on a lead. One of the missing children's mothers, Mia, works there. He asks her about her daughter's disappearance. Mia explains that it's been a year since her daughter went missing, yet she still feels her presence. Sometimes, she even sees her in dreams. Jordan is struck by how closely this mirrors what Mike had told him. Curious, he asks Mia about the word ghost. The moment he says it, a fire suddenly erupts in the kitchen. Flames rush toward Mia's mother, but Jordan reacts quickly and pulls her to safety. Back at Kristen's house, Mike is preparing dinner when the power suddenly goes out, plunging the home into darkness. He walks to the window and peers outside, only to see 3 children standing eerily still. Their bodies are draped in strange garments, and their eyes fixate on him with a chilling intensity. As Mike turns around, he sees even more children inside the room. Their faces are twisted, unnatural, and terrifying, but in the very next moment, they vanish. When Kristen returns and sees Mike shaken, he tells her everything. For the first time, she believes him. Her voice is serious as she says, "This could be a message. We need to investigate further." The next day, Kristen invites a paranormal expert to the house, a woman known for her ability to communicate with spirits and investigate unexplained phenomena. At first, she senses nothing unusual, but as she approaches the window, a dark shadow suddenly appears outside. A powerful gust of wind blasts through, lifting the expert off the ground and slamming her into the wall, as if some invisible force is trying to harm her. Mike and Kristen stand frozen, powerless to intervene. Moments later, the expert dies. Mike and Kristen are horrified, unable to comprehend what just happened. In a panic, they call Officer Jordan. The police arrive quickly, but with no concrete evidence, suspicion begins to fall on Mike. Though he isn't arrested, the expert's body is taken away for further investigation. That night, while Kristen is asleep, her iPad suddenly powers on by itself. A drawing appears, one that Charlie had created. As Kristen looks closely, she notices something startling. The sketch shows a little boy who looks exactly like Charlie. A wave of realization washes over her. Could Charlie be trying to send a message? Meanwhile, Mike hears Kristen's voice and walks into her room. He immediately senses something is off. Kristen's behavior is strange. Her movements feel unnatural. Then, out of nowhere, she whispers, "Daddy, she's coming to take me." In that moment, Mike understands. Charlie's spirit might have entered Kristen's body, trying to communicate something urgent. Suddenly, Kristen grabs a pair of scissors and begins to harm herself. Mike shouts and rushes to stop her. She collapses, unconscious. When she wakes up, Kristen has no memory of what happened. But when Mike looks at her hands, he's shaken. The wounds aren't random. They resemble mysterious symbols, as if some supernatural force had left its mark. The next day, Mike and Kristen visit Anna and show her the strange symbols. They ask what they could mean. Anna, who has a deep interest in history, begins researching immediately. After digging through old records, she uncovers a chilling legend. The symbols seem to be connected to an ancient supernatural event. Anna explains that many years ago, on Halloween night, a woman was caught practicing dark magic. Fearing her powers, the villagers took harsh action against her and her 3 children. And these children are the same ones we saw at the beginning of the story. But before dying, the woman cursed the village. She vowed to return every Halloween night and take 3 children with her. Anna continues her research and discovers the woman's name and lineage. She belonged to a family of Irish descent, just like the villagers, many of whom still live in a part of New York. Hearing this, Mike and Kristen decide to travel there, determined to save their son. Upon arrival, they witness a strange ritual. The Irish villagers are dressed in unusual garments, tossing bizarre dolls into a fire. Soon, the group's leader approaches them. Mike and Kristen share everything, their story, their fears, and ask for help. The leader explains that the witch returns every Halloween to drag 3 children into the underworld. Mike and Kristen already know this. The leader then elaborates. Halloween is the one night when the barrier between the human world and the underworld opens. The witch can only claim the souls of children who were marked the previous year. That's why Charlie and others remain trapped, caught between 2 worlds. These children, now spirits, are trying to warn their parents. Mike and Kristen are convinced they still have a chance to save their son. But first, they must find the portal that connects this world to the other side. Just then, Mike's phone rings. It's Anna. She's uncovered everything about the witch, and Anna has found the exact location of the portal. Without wasting a moment, Mike and Kristen head toward the address Anna had given them. But on the way, a demonic spirit, disguised as a vulture, suddenly crashes into their car. The impact sends the vehicle spinning out of control, resulting in a terrifying accident. Mike ensures Kristen is safe before continuing alone toward the location. It's the same place where the word ghost was scrawled across the walls in giant letters. As he steps inside, he notices something strange. All the homeless people who were once there have vanished, except for the blind beggar he'd met before. Mike begins to suspect this man might be the gatekeeper of the portal. He asks the beggar how to reach the portal. Without saying a word, the man leads Mike down into the building's basement, eventually guiding him to an old, swaying bridge. Before Mike crosses, the beggar offers a chilling warning: return before midnight, or you'll be trapped forever. Wasting no time, Mike steps onto the bridge. Thick smoke surrounds him, making it nearly impossible to see. But he doesn't give up. Slowly and steadily, he makes his way across. On the other side, he's met with a haunting sight: dozens of children's spirits imprisoned by the witch. Mike calls out Charlie's name. The spirits raise their hands, desperate for help, hoping he can lead them home. As Mike walks through the crowd of souls, his hands brush against theirs, each touch a painful reminder that these children may never return to the real world. But then, he finds Charlie. Overwhelmed with relief, he embraces his son. A wave of hope surges through him. He quickly searches for the other two children who vanished with Charlie. Just as he prepares to leave with them, the witch appears and launches a vicious attack. But then, something miraculous happens. The other trapped children, those who knew they couldn't be saved, choose to fight back. They rise together and confront Lineage's dark spirit, giving Mike the chance he needs. Seizing the moment, Mike grabs Charlie and the other children and races toward the portal. He manages to pull them through just in time. As Halloween night ends, the portal seals shut, forcing the evil spirit to retreat until the next Halloween. Mike brings Charlie home. Kristen is overjoyed to see her son again. Though Charlie has lost some memories from the past year, Mike ensures everything is safe now. Kristen looks at Mike with gratitude, realizing he brought back the most precious part of their lives. And that brings this haunting tale to its end for now. If this story stirred your curiosity or sent chills down your spine, show some love by hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what moment gripped you the most. For more spine-tingling mysteries, unforgettable twists, and emotionally rich narratives, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the next story, one that might linger in your heart long after the screen fades.